1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Okay. Hello, internet world. This is Norma Joe. Check it out. My car is here. And that probably doesn't mean anything to you guys, but it means something to me because my car has been in the shop for a fucking week. Finally have this shit back. Finally start doing some Instacart orders again. Jesus Christ. But anyway, I'm gonna bring you a story. I've been reading some boring ass story. You know what? I'm not even gonna touch my hair. I swear. See, then it heard me, so it went straight at my fucking nostrils. It's like, oh, you're not gonna touch me? Let me go right on your fucking nose. Anyway, you know what? I should just twist it like this. Yeah. Twist that stupid hoe. Anyway, yeah, that's better. So I've been reading some boring ass stories. So let me bring you this entertaining ass story that this is actually a pretty recent one. I hate it when you put your hand near the camera and it gets all big. It's like, oh, monster hand. Anyway. So this is a recent story. It's only from like 2 years or maybe a year and a half ago, something like that. And yeah. If you're not a nerd, get the non-nerds out of the room. Get the politically correct people out of the room. This is a dumb fucking story. If you're not down with dumb shit, just get them out of here. This story, it has so many fucking, just so many things I was trying to fucking parody, but the main gist is that it's Metal Gear Rising and American Dad, basically, like, fucking mixed together. So, if you don't like that shit, then you've been warned, okay? So, and you can tell it's, like, at least 2 years, yeah, like, a year, 2 years, maybe a year and a half ago, because I actually fucking had some humor in me back then, you know? But hopefully the humor will come back eventually someday. So, anyway, if you don't know what Metal Gear Rising is, then good for you, because it's a shark jumping fucking clusterfuck that I just found out recently is not even technically part of the Metal Gear story, which I'm not surprised, honestly, because the shit is a shit show, but that's what makes it so fucking funny. I'll put a link to I have not seen the whole thing, okay? Someday I will. I've only seen the beginning, so I'll put a link down to Dashie's videos, which is what I watched. So you'll see what I'm fucking parodying, okay? Anyways, without further ado, let's move on. I hope I can I don't have any booze, and I haven't had booze for a week because I figured if I'm not working, I haven't earned a drink or whatever. So I'm totally straight right now. So let's plow through here. Once again, for the millionth time, comes to you a story about those who dared to play God, quote unquote, and create their own life form, ... and the results of what happened, ... Crash Course, a comedy. I don't know why it's called Crash Course. The story begins on a summer evening at a club known as the Gallivanting Oyster. Natats, aka Nat, along with friends Dr. Strangelove, Captain Crazy Pants, Teddy Bear Cake, and Samantha, were sitting at a table in the club, watching a big fat burlesque dancer twirl around with a feather boa and do her thing. The captain looked down past his dinner and a show dinner of a plate of spaghetti and a glass of grain alcohol, and looked down under the edge of the table at his phone. A text was there. "We got a job," he told the others through his teeth as he chewed on an unlit cigar. This was, after all, the year I guess it was 2020. I wrote this earlier in the year 2020? Anyway, whatever. That's surprising. I guess it is true. I feel like the year 2020 went by really fast and monotonous, but a lot of people have been saying 2020 felt like 2 years. So, I don't know. I thought it was older than that. Anyways, maybe it's only 1 year old. Wow. Okay, moving on. This was, after all, the year 2020, and most burlesque halls were non-smoking. Samantha sighed loudly and rolled her eyes behind her round glasses, throwing one arm over the back of her chair as she leaned back. "Can't it wait until business hours?" The captain gave a low chuckle. "Typical techie," he commented, "always wanting to keep work to peak hours. Not like me. I'm an ununionized military man. Every hour round the clock is business hours to me." "Yeah, okay, keep your techist opinions to yourself," Samantha replied. "What's the order?" Oh, I forgot. Nat's supposed to have a Russian accent. I can't do accents, so... "What's the order?" Nat asked in his thick Russian accent from under a thick Russian mustache. The captain scrolled down on his phone. Looks like one humanoid male with extra speed and dexterity and a high capability for destruction. Pff, same as always, Teddy Bear replied, in a slight inner city hood accent. When we gonna get an interesting order? Who's the buyer? The captain scrolled further down. The Prince of Nigeria, he answered. Looks like there's trouble in his country. If we don't help, who will? Nat stood up. No, guess we better get to it. I cannot do the Russian accent. I'll do it later when it's more like, or maybe I will never do it, who knows. You have to just imagine it. Later that night, the gang was all standing around a big bubbling cauldron in the woods. They were all wearing black robes with hoods up over their heads and belts of rope. How is it coming along, Teddy Bear? Oh, he has a German accent. I can't do that either. How is it coming along, Teddy Bear? Dr. Strangelove asked in his creepy, nasally voice. Teddy Bear, stirring the pot with a big wooden stick, replied, Good, all technical specifications are met. Now for the fun part. Yeah, personalizations, Samantha exclaimed explicationally. She was all excited now, as she loved personalizations. I want him to be hot, that's in all caps. Like a J-pop star, she said, and wear a corset and big stripper heels and a thong, that's also all caps. No, Nat quickly shut her down. Every time we make a creature, you do this. I am sick of it. I don't want a girly boy. I want a man this time, with a gruff voice, big broad shoulders, and a strong breast muscles. Ew, Samantha was not feeling it. Well, I would like for him to be bloodthirsty, exceptionally vicious. Oh, I'm not doing the Dr. Strangelove voice. Voices are so hard to do, Dr. Strangelove said with weird pleasure in his voice. He wrung his gloved hands together. And I would like for this little one to bring me the left hands severed of his foes. Wouldn't the trophy display be glorious? Ha! Ha ha! Heil Hitler! Heil Hitler! I'm canceled. What? I've already been, so whatever. He compulsively does the Heil Hitler motion and then quickly tries to reel in his Nazi arm. Everyone just looks at him. Awkward turtle. They all look away again. Teddy Bear Cake said, I got an idea. They all look at him in surprise. But Teddy, you never usually have any personalization requests, Captain Crazy Pants explained loudly and unnecessarily to the audience. I guess I should be doing his voice too. He has like a loud, just fucking, I am a man voice, you know. Yeah, well, I've been thinking, the young man replied. Why don't we make a black person this time? We never do that. It would be cool. The captain and Nat laughed. Teddy Bear narrowed his eyes a little. What's so funny? Teddy Bear, we are racist, Nat explained. We don't want any black dolls. At least he's fucking honest, I guess. That's fucked up. Besides, you got Black Panther movie, Black Wizard of Oz, and Finn from Star Wars. That's good enough. I'm so canceled. Teddy Bear just shook his head like, why the fuck do I continue to hang with these assholes? See, I'm trying to be on the right side of history here. The captain spoke up then. All right, enough fooling around. I want one specific specification. One that I'm sure will make the Prince of Nigeria very satisfied. Okay, it's for the Prince of Nigeria and they still refuse to make a black doll. That's pretty fucked up, but moving on. His voice became very deliberate and dramatic. Our creature must have the nature and instinct to tear out his enemy's spinal cords and consume their precious bodily fluids. Everyone else, despite themselves, erupted in cheers of excitement and pleasure. Let us commence, Nat said in a powerful tone. Oh, that wasn't powerful. Let us commence. I can't do the Russian accent and powerful tone at the same time, so excuse me. Nat said in a powerful tone with lightning striking behind him for emphasis. Meanwhile, as everyone else was momentarily distracted, Samantha sneaked a little plastic baggie of pistol powder. That's pistol like the female part of the flower, not like a gun pistol, because you can't see how it's spelled when I'm reading it. Out of her pocket. Opening the bag, she sprinkled a dash in the cauldron. I'll be damned if I'm gonna let my creature be an ugly dude, she thought to herself privately. That's probably also cancel-worthy. You're not supposed to say things like that. But hey, it's all It's all, subjective. You see what I'm saying? It's all subjective. Everyone hurriedly gathered around the cauldron. They took up their wooden stirring sticks and made sure their hoods were far front. Stirring the bubbling pot, they chanted together, "Boom, boom, baroom, boom, boom, baroom, toil and trouble and work for the tomb." Make him obedient. This is like everyone taking their turns talking, so you just have to imagine it. Make him obedient, make him a monster, make him drink blood, and have no conscience. They began to count off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. They all looked over. In a split second, they saw a slender phantom in a catsuit and a creepy white theater mask. That is, before he shoved the cauldron over, fucking up all their hard work. Everyone freaked out, screaming and cursing and panicking. Hurriedly, I imagine the camera like going all crazy, like, oh, found footage, you know. Sorry if that made anyone puke, but hopefully I don't have anyone watching this video. Hurriedly, they tried to put the scalding hot liquid back into the pot, but it was no use. Besides, it burned their hands. Their creation, unfinished, spilled out onto the ground and flailed like a fish, making horrible choking grunting sounds. It was a disembodied head. He was like a pretty boy, but his hair reached out and squirmed like tendrils, like some kind of sea creature struggling on land. Samantha! Oh, Samantha! Oh, I don't know, however you say that with a Russian accent. Nat snapped accusingly, seeing now that she had indeed used the pistol powder to make the kind of guy she liked, but she was too freaked out to care. "Get it, Captain, get it!" she was screaming. He hurried and snatched up the head by the hair. It continued to gasp and grunt in his hand. "Put it in liquid, hurry! I can't just put it in pure water, it would kill it," he said. Then we won't use water." Was that Russian? I don't know. Nat said back. Making a split-second decision, he grabbed their cooler full of drinks, booze and mixers, it says in parentheses, and poured out all the bottles full of sugar and alcohol into the ice. Throwing all the bottles into the forest, in parentheses, littering, they shoved the head into the cooler and slammed the lid shut. They piled into the SUV and sped out of there with screeching and burning rubber. 1 week later. After a rough week, the team once again assembles in their rented office space in a strip mall, next to a dentist, a tattoo spot, and a laundromat, and sharing a big-ass parking lot with a Smart and Final and a Bevmo. Anyway, they all come in there, dejected and feeling like shit. Everyone's drinking coffee to wake up at 1 p.m. "Man, I can't believe the whole Nigerian prince thing turned out to be fake," Teddy Bear said. It was now his turn to explain something to the audience. "Who would want to scam us like that?" "Our enemies, son, our enemies," the captain responded darkly, still chewing his cigar. "Well, perhaps it is better this way." "Oh, well, perhaps it is better this way," came the German accent of Dr. Strangelove. He looked at Samantha. "How is our little friend doing?" That sounded more like Ren from Ren and Stimpy. She rolled her eyes, irritated. "Ugh, I don't know, fine, I guess. He still doesn't talk, but actually I'm surprised he even lived this long, so whatever." She glared at them. "I don't see why you guys made me take care of him by myself." "Oh, but he's your boyfriend, your perfect man," Nat taunted, still pissed about the pistol powder incident and all other previous incidents. "Besides, you're the only biologist here," Teddy Bear added. I'm totally not doing Teddy Bear's black accent either, but whatever. Enough standing around. I want to see him, Captain Crazy Pants said then. Samantha rolled her eyes again, then stood up and headed for a door in the back of the rental space marked stairs. All the dudes followed her. They went down the steps into a secret basement lab. Samantha unlocked the door with her phone. They opened the door, ... There they saw her lab. She had all kinds of shelves and cupboards full of shit and even a fridge. But front and center was the severed head, calmly awake and alert, but the look on his face was deeply brooding. He was sitting in a shallow tray of fluid and hooked up to some bottles and bubbling beakers and stuff in the style of an old black and white sci-fi movie. Hashtag THTWD, which I'm like 100% sure is the head that wouldn't die. which is obviously what this is also based on. All the dudes oohed and awed in their own ways. I am very impressed, Dr. Strangelove said in a cunning tone. He wheeled himself over to have a closer look. Oh yeah, do you notice that, like, they went downstairs somehow and he's in a wheelchair? That's just a little, like, funny gag. He wheeled himself over to have a closer look. The head's blue eyes watched him warily. You have achieved wonders. Yeah, I can't do his accent. I can't do none of these fucking people's accents. You need a multi-cultural cast to do this. Duh, I'm a genius, Samantha replied arrogantly. Such a beauty indeed, Dr. Strangelove purred, his eyes oogling lewdly over the head from behind his slim glasses. We shall call her Olympia, after the beautiful automaton in the classic literature, Der Sandman. He's a dude, so call him he. Proper pronouns here, Samantha replied, shooting him down. I don't want to call him Olympia. That's a lame name. Why don't we call him Shelley, after Mary Shelley? That was a little attempt, at least. Teddy Bear suggested. That's a unisex name. I think he ought to be called Rachel, after the replicant in Blade Runner, said Captain Crazy Pants. That poor rape victim never gets the recognition she deserves. Why are you all trying to give him women's names? Samantha complained bitchily. Just 'cause I like guys with a girly face doesn't mean I want to name him a girl name. They all bickered about it for a long time, bitching each other out as the head watched silently. At last, they came to an agreement. He would be called Ollie Ray or Ollie Rye, depending how you want to pronounce it. Which is a joke on Raiden, in case you didn't catch that. Which I hope nobody is watching this video. For a little while, everyone was all enthralled and into checking out Ollie Ray, and Samantha was just reaping in the praise from them. But after like 10 minutes, they all got bored. There wasn't a whole lot they could really do with him. He didn't talk, he just glared, and he didn't really move. All they could do was just look. Alright, Teddy Bear said it. Maybe I should have made him say alright. Alright, Teddy Bear said at last. You guys want to do something else? Let's go to this. How do you do the Russian accent? It's so hard to go from voice to voice. Let's go to the strip. No, that's not it at all. Let's go to the strip club. Just pretend that's in a Russian accent. Nat suggested with no hesitation. He nudged Samantha. You come too. You deserve break after working so hard. So I guess it's whatever. Samantha shrugged. Can't argue with that, she replied. So with that, they all grabbed their jackets and keys and headed out. They turned off the lights, except some ambient lab lights that were always on, and locked the door. All that could be heard was the bubbling of the beakers. Ollie Ray just sat... It should be really Ollie Rye if it's supposed to be like Raiden, but I like to say it Raiden. Ollie Rye just sat there, staring at the door. So this is my life, huh? He thought to himself silently. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask to be created. Tears started to form in his eyes, but he gritted them back. I don't want to live like this, but I don't have a way out. Meanwhile, I don't think it's a good idea to go all buck wild and blow hella green at the strip club, Teddy Bear was saying. Don't forget, I am the token financial advisor in the group, and we're still majorly in the red after that damn Nigerian prince fuck up. That shit we wasted ain't cheap, you know. It wasn't a waste, Captain Crazy Pants said. We're still gonna recoup our costs and make up the profit. Don't you worry. 1 minute left. Teddy Bear quirked an eyebrow. And how you plan on doing that? Dr. Strangelove gave a sly grin and began to answer instead. The head which Samantha has been keeping is actually quite medically sound. It simply lacks a body. This is not a German accent, sorry. If we were to acquire a fitting body, his eyes shifted a little in a sketchy way, we can sell it to the next client and recover our losses. Yeah, okay, but where's this body supposed to come from? Asked Teddy Bear. No one answered yet, as they arrived outside the doors to the club. It was the next day. Everyone was coming down to the basement lab to check on Ollie Ray. just generally hang out. They had partied hard the night before and were all hungover. They hardly remembered what they had done the previous night. What's in here? Nat asked sleepily, sipping very stereotypically on a small plastic bottle of Royal Gate vodka. Oh, it's 20 minutes.